and we have our first ever guest to the podcast. We've all had a chat about it, and we've settled on the name Fabu D, also known as the Black Paddy, also known as David sometimes, but we're going to stick with Fabu D for now. Fabu D, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. Very good day. Lovely sunny day today. So the happiness is flowing through my soul right now. So.
What a beautiful sentiment to start on,
yeah.
Isn't it? With us here is our co-host, Peter.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and what an amazing first guest.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, we are grateful to have you here.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
So let's get started here, because you're quite well known by now.
Yeah, if you don't know me, you probably don't even have social media. Basically.
You don't have social media. You're not a TikToker. You're not an influencer.
You're not Irish, basically.
Well, that started early, didn't it?
Let's go.
So, for those that maybe don't know, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, well, my original name is David. I'm originally from Nigeria. I know you're probably thinking, whereabouts in Sligo is that? No, Nigeria in Africa. So, I've been living in Ireland now for 24 years, pretty long time. So, I have the Guinness flowing in my blood. I'm based in the south, in Dublin. And I do stand-up comedy. I travel around Ireland. I have over 1 million followers on social media from just having the crack traveling around Ireland trying Guinness. That's why I'm so fucking black. But life is good. So yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, you're a very public figure, Fabu. One thing that you haven't, at least I haven't heard you speak about too much, are your memories of your life before Ireland. I mean, do you have many memories? Is it a big part of your life, the Nigeria, you're growing up and being a young person in Nigeria?
Yes, I do have memories of Nigeria, like memories of my dad, memories of my mom, school, friends. Like my dad passed away before I came here. That's the main reason why I actually left Nigeria. The only thing I didn't forget about is my accent. My accent is still there. I can't lose. I don't know what it is. Since I came to Ireland, I've always have this deep, thick Nigerian accent because I'm from the countryside in Nigeria. I'm from like, I would say I'm from the bog.
Are you a Nigerian culture?
I'm actually Nigerian culture. Yeah, so living in Dublin is a big difference living in the city. But no, so I have the country experience, the food. I remember the music. I remember the culture. But along the years, everything has started to fade out. I've accumulated so much memories, Irish memories. New things in my mind. So I still have some few African memories in my mind, like the way my dad would speak to me, the African culture, the way my mom would give out to me. And, I still have those memories in my mind, which I think is similar to the Irish culture as well, because the Irish man will still give out to you with a wooden spoon. If you mess up, they're like, come here to me, I'm going to get the wooden spoon. But in Africa, it's not called the wooden spoon, it's the flip-flops, they get the flip-flops and the belt, so I still have those memories as well. The weather, I can't forget about the weather, I still remember when I see rain in Nigeria, I'm like, thank you, Jesus, finally. Rain. Remember in Ireland, they give out about the rain. Folks, they can't even do anything in this country without the bleeding raining all the time. So I still have those memories. Yeah.
And was it a culture shock?
It was.
Is there such a difference between the two cultures that it was difficult to navigate?
It was a culture shock. I remember the first time I arrived because I thought when my mom told me back in Nigeria that I was living Africa, she said, okay, you guys are going to London. You're going to England. That's where you're going to. And in my head, I thought we were going to London. Then appeared to be Dublin. And the first thing I heard was, what's the story? I'm like, sorry, what did you say? I barely could understand the accent. I didn't understand what he was talking about. It was very hard. I had to put my ears literally low to understand what they were talking about. And and the food, I wasn't used to the cabbage, the carrots, the sausage. I used to eat fufu, pounded yam, rice, banana, watermelon, them proper tropical food. And the weather, Jesus Christ. When I remember coming out of the plane, I was like, who left the refrigerator door open? Like, it's freezing, boys, and it was so much different for me, it was very, very, there was so much difference going on, but I was very, after a while, I kind of adapt to it, and I was like, you know what? I love this style of life. Yeah.
But I got the impression that you didn't know you were going to Dublin. You thought you were going to London.
Yeah.
So how could that have been? Surely you got on a flight that said Dublin.
I know. So it's just that. So basically, I think years and years ago, no one in Nigeria would know where Ireland is.
Right.
We don't know anything about. If you say Ireland, we thought Ireland was just a land in the middle of the ocean. Like that's what we thought Ireland was. I remember when I moved to Ireland after 2 years after, and I had to send money home back to my mom, that kind of way. And I call my friend on the phone, and they're like, oh, so how is London? I'm like, yeah, London is good, because if I tell them Ireland, they don't know Ireland, they don't know where Ireland is.
Right.
So I have to call Ireland London. But I bet you if I'm saying that and there's an Irish guy beside me, like, who the fuck are you calling the English? Get the fuck out.
Listen, don't start calling it London, Dublin, because
London, Dublin. Oh, Jesus Christ! So it's just that kind of like, we didn't know where Ireland was. It's just until recently we started knowing, people in Nigeria or Africa started knowing about Ireland. With sport, football, MMA, Conor McGregor. They started knowing Ireland. But apart from that,
I thought there was a big sort of, because Guinness is so popular in Nigeria. Was there not, so the Nigerians didn't or haven't made the connection that this is an Irish connected associated drink?
Yeah, we didn't know that either, because we drank Guinness a lot, so we didn't even know. When I came here, and I actually, when I came to Ireland, I still didn't know Irish people drank Guinness a lot. I didn't even know Guinness was a big thing here in Ireland. We drank Guinness a lot in Nigeria until I started going into Irish pubs, because I remember when I came to Ireland, I didn't go straight to the pub straight away, obviously, because it was intimidating going into an Irish pub back then. A black man walking into an Irish pub, everybody just stops and just stare at you like, what the fuck is that, So it's just, then after a while, I then realized, oh shit, they actually drink Guinness a lot in this place. What the fuck? Then I just kind of like realized, oh, they love the Guinness in Ireland, and in Nigeria, we love the Guinness too. But the difference is the Guinness in Nigeria is way stronger. Like it's 8.6, whereby here the Guinness is 5.4 or something like that. So it's a big difference, that kind of way.
So you go from a sort of culture shocked boy, teenager. Did I hear that you were living with your aunt? So you had family here?
Yeah,
and
so
you were staying with them?
Yeah. So basically, I was staying with my auntie here in Blanchardstown. So I know for you guys watching this or listening to this podcast and you've never heard about Blanchardstown basically is like Africa. Basically, there's more black people in Blanchardstown than it is in Africa. So I was living with her, and it was a lovely place, really posh. I actually was staying in a place called Castleknock. That's where I grew up, And very, very posh place. People were really friendly. They were loving. They were like, happy people. Just like, they were very welcoming, basically, as the only black guy at the time, in Blanchardstown. I was feeling so happy. I'm like, yup, what's the story? Everybody want to touch my hair. Like, oh my God, can I feel your hair? Feels like shit and stuff like that. It was interesting, that kind of way. And fast forward now, I don't feel special anymore. Fucking immigrants coming in. But anyway, it's just like, I was just kind of like, but yeah, my auntie, she's pretty cool.
So I remember that you said you went through a phase of, much later on, homelessness, not addiction, but sort of into the party lifestyle and mental health kind of struggles.
Yeah,
Can we get into that a bit?
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, I was living with my auntie, but we just didn't get along. We didn't get along. It's just she meant well. She wanted the best for me. She wanted me to go to college, study and do great with my life. But I went to college, but I just felt like it wasn't for me. I was feeling like, I wanted something more. I was this little black kid filled with love and hyperness and ADHD and want to see more and want to do more. I was like the class clown. and I was dropping out of college. I was studying civil engineering in DIT in Bolton Street. My second year, I wasn't turning up to classes, and coming in and out of classes can be a bit hard, especially when you have projects with peers and you have to catch up on projects and stuff like that. And I failed my my exams, so I had to, during the summer, instead of me having a good summer, I have to go back to college to repeat my course. And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna stick with the Guinness, bro. This is where I want to be at. And I chose that life, but she wasn't really happy. She was like, you can't just come here and just live that life. So she was very hard on me. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I am moving out. I'm not staying here. So I left, and I was crashing in with my friends, chilling in the houses. Well, you can stay with them for maybe a little while, but they can't host you for that long, that kind of way. So I found myself homeless in Ireland. I had nowhere to go. I was on the street of Dublin, literally sleeping at bus stops. I remember going into internet cafe at around 11 o'clock, pretending to go online, and I fell asleep there. And the man was really nice. Sometimes he let me sleep there, and he wouldn't even disturb me or stuff like that. It was a 24 hours cafe there, and I remember I bought a car at the time, a BMW, no insurance, no tax, nothing like that. But I just bought the car, and I was rough sleeping in the car and all like that. just kind of staying there, just rough sleeping in the car, basically.
So you spent time sleeping on the streets as well?
On the streets, yeah.
The actual street?
Yeah, actual street of Dublin.
How long were you doing that for?
2 years.
Wow.
On the actual street?
Yeah, street of Dublin, 2 years.
My God.
Yeah, man.
In and out of shelters as well?
In and out of shelter, rough sleeping at bus stops, sleeping in parks,
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, man. And the thing about that was because I don't know, I could have gotten help, I could have reached out, I could have literally but I was
How old were you at that time?
I was 25, 26, around that time.
So you didn't complete the college course?
No, I didn't. No, I just didn't.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, "This is not for me." I used to meet college and go to pubs to do stand up comedy, because I started doing stand up comedy as well. So I remember I would do stand up comedy. I have 7 minutes to perform at the Halfpenny Bridge. Then it was for open mic nights for upcoming comedians. After my set, I'll go out drinking and having a crack. From drinking, went to smoking, went to taking cocaine, and
was this with friends?
With friends, yeah.
Were these close friends, or were these people that saw you as a bit of an anomaly and let's go out with the black guy here? He's so
exactly.
funny.
That kind of way. I go to pubs, and one thing about Irish nightclub back then was everyone was literally happy. I don't know what it is. Whenever they go into the toilet, they come out more happy. I'm like, what the fuck is in that toilet that makes them fucking happy? That kind of way. So it was a good feeling whenever I'm out with the boys and they come out, they come out to me and they give me good stuff. I'm happy, and I go.
Were you homeless at that time?
Yeah. All this time, me living with my auntie. I couldn't do all these things when I was living with my auntie. I couldn't come home fucked because she gets mad at me and stuff like that. So when I was free now, I can do everything now. I can, because she tried her best to hold me so I won't see the world like that. I was just more like, I was very curious. I wanted to see more. I wanted to know what's going on.
It was sort of liberation for you.
So and I got a job. Actually, I remembered I got a job selling scratch card on the streets. I used to work for an organization called the Hanley Center. So I used to sell scratch card, and I used to I was very good at talking. I'm blessed with the gift of the gab. I could talk my way out of anything. So I was kind of selling scratch card to people. I was making about 100 quid a day selling scratch cards, and that money I make, I'll go out nighttime. I'm gonna buy myself lovely drugs. I'm gonna have a good time, that kind of way. I was living. That's the lifestyle I was living at. I found myself on the street, and I could have gotten help, but I was immersed in this lifestyle.
It can be a mindset. I was with a homeless charity in London for a while, and the founder of that told me something once that changed the whole nature of homelessness for me. He said, homeless people are homeless long before they're homeless. It's not that you don't have a house. all of a sudden, or you can't make the money and get a job and pay the rent. There's a malady there. There's a problem.
Yeah, it
a
is
psychological problem.
It was exactly.
What was eating you at that time
Yeah,
to put you in that position?
Just drugs and women, basically. I used to be.
But you could have a job, have a place to live, and do that.
Yeah,
so there was something. Where do you think the root of that behavior was?
I just thought the root of the behavior was just I was immersed with that lifestyle of being free and not worried about paying rent, not worried about living with my auntie, not worried about, I was just like, I had a car at the time. I could just, whatever it is, go to my car and chill in my car and sleep in my car, or like, after a nightclub, see a beautiful girl and I go stay in her house, or my friend chill in his house. Or if I'm really stranded and so everyone lets me down for the whole day, that's me on the street then for the whole night, that kind of way. So it was just that.
So it was like a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, it was, man. I was just like, I was hustling my way out of everything. And until a day, someone came over to me saying, do you know you can actually go to the rough sleepers and actually talk to them and they would help you out? I'm like, wait, what? They helped me out? And I did it, and they came over to me to check me out, and they said, you know what? They gave me a hostel to stay in, and I stayed in the hostel, and I got robbed in the hostel, and I was like, nah, I don't think I want to stay there anymore, man, because it's not what I want to do. And after a while, I kind of changed my life around, and I got a job in a Boots pharmacy, and started working in Boots pharmacy. I started getting paid in Boots. I got money. I rented a house, and my life kind of changed after that. So that's how I kind of like genuinely, because I think the fact that I actually got offered a hostel and I got robbed in that hostel, that kind of scared me. I was like, okay, you know what, bro, you need to get your life together now.
And you'd no other hairy experiences. I'd say the streets of Dublin could be quite rough to sleep in on a full-time basis.
I've got my head kicked in a few times.
Have you?
Oh yeah. Oh, like I was like till this day, my left ear, it's kind of like it's gonna be muffy, and that was from just random guy just coming to me from behind, and I was just lucky that this Algerian guy that was walking past, and he kind of like saved me. He was like, oh, like get the boys out, if not, like, So I've had a few things happen to me, and people like stabbing me on the hand, and I've had few things happen to me on the street of Dublin, but I had to just kind of like, be strong as well, on the streets as well, I had to be, and I think one thing that actually helped me as well a lot is that I've always been funny. I've always had funny, witty humor with life. So I'm not a violent person. I don't go around starting fights with people. I don't go around like, hating on people. I've always been that happy guy. People love me for that on the street. I've always been that really like, funny, happy guy, having a crack with people. I could talk my way out of things, that kind of way. But obviously you're going to meet the bad guys in any way you go to in this world. So, and the thing about all this lifestyle that I've lived is that I'm living and I'm learning from all this lifestyle I'm going through. I'm banned off the road as well for 10 years. I can't even drive for 10 years, so it's just so much things that has happened to me while I've lived my life, and in Ireland especially without mom or dad, just me as a 14-year-old kid left Africa to start a new life in a different whole country. It's
Do you think the absence of a father in your life for those years made an impact?
Yeah, plays a very huge role in my life. There's no father figure to actually, kind of like, talk to me, to mold me up and say, hey, don't do this, do that. I had to leave and learn my own way. I got my heart broken. A lot of times I've cried alone in my own space. So much has happened to me in my life that I wouldn't want that to happen to my own son. And that's why I'm actually like trying to be a better person so I can actually be a good leader for my own son, So that's basically what I've been going through.
You are a parent. You have a couple of kids?
Yeah, I have 2 kids. I might have one more just in case one don't like me. Just have my options wide open there. Yourself. Yeah.
Boy and girl, 3 boys.
Yeah, boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl.
Yeah,
the girl, the youngest one.
Yeah.
Oh, youngest daughter.
Oh, come here.
She's gonna have you.
Oh, come here to me, man.
How has it changed you? How has parenthood affected your life?
Oh man, it has affected me in so many ways. Like I said, I've lived a very rough life. I've lived a life that is not mindful. I've lived a very not giving a fuck life, and now I'm very more like mindful. I'm very caring. I just feel like like all the mistake I've made in the past is catching up on me. From me drinking a lot and taking too much drugs, on my health, for me just living recklessly. Now I don't even have a car. From just all the thing I've lived in the past that I've done without not thinking them through, just living. Is now haunting me, and now I'm now like, what? Thank you so much, universe, for giving me a second chance, because I feel like a survivor. I'm alive right now. I'm happy that I'm alive because, man, after all that shit I've done back in the past and I'm still standing right here, I'm grateful, bro. I'm like, what? Thank you, God. And I'm like, me having kids right now, I'm like, what? I want to be a role model. I want to kind of be able to show them the path to walk through. I'm not going to change them. I'm not going to tell them what to do because they have their own life to live, but I'm just going to direct them. I'm like, hey, I don't think that's what you want to do. That kind of way. So that's how much it changed me.
That was missing from you.
Yeah.
Your father figure.
Yeah,
So I think you've got a good handle on what was missing and then what you can do to prevent the same trajectory. I think those years of the 90s and the 2000s, young men in this country, in Britain, in Ireland, had very, very similar experiences. A lot of us were embroiled in the rave scene, drink, drugs, reckless behaviour, and life does come to collect.
It does, and that's one thing I didn't know, and that's my advice to anyone out there who is actually entering into this illusion of having a crack. I'm not saying you can't have the crack, but be mindful. Be very, very mindful, because at the end of the day, right, our body is like a vehicle. If we drive, if we put mileage on it, it will affect us in the future. So like I literally rallied the body out of my body, bro. I literally oh my God, I like, there was a time I thought I was gonna die one time. Actually, I was on a sesh for about 3 days, no sleep, and I remember like calling my uncle, saying to him, I said, hey, how you doing? I said, look, I love you so much, and I wish you the best. I'm really sorry for being a horrible person, blah, blah. And my heart I could literally see my heartbeat outside. I could see the heart pumping out. And man, it was scary feeling, I survived it, but what I'm trying to say is the body, the nervous system can always, it takes a long time to heal after that stress, stress of too much alcohol and drugs. It takes a while to heal that. So if anyone is going through that right now, I'm just letting them know you might have that happiness today, but remember, your future self is begging you to take it easy, because you want that longevity, you want to stay a bit longer. So it's very, very important. Not everyone has that luck of second chance, So it can be a tough one,
There's a mental health issue there too at the root of that behaviour a lot of the time. I've seen posts of yours from a long time ago when you were maybe in the throes of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, whatever it was, aggravated by alcohol and things like that. And then you've come out of it. So there are obviously strategies there's a lot of people in this country now with mental health problems. It's an epidemic, an ongoing, long-standing epidemic. Seems to be getting worse. What did you do to bring yourself out of that? What can you tell these young guys now if they're desperate to get out of it and can't?
Like for me, the reason why everything changed for me was like, you need to have a reason. I don't know. Like my reason why I actually stayed strong and changed myself was my kids. The fact that I get up in the morning, I see my son and I see me. I'm like, God damn, I don't. There's a way. See, sometimes I never believed in depression or anxiety or what? No, I never believed in any of these things. When I left Nigeria and I came to Ireland and I see people talking about depression, anxiety, I'm like, what the fuck? I just don't. I never knew. I never understood how real that was. You know, because
That's interesting.
Yeah, no.
Is it because that's not talked about in Nigeria, or
No,
because it's a malady we've created ourselves?
No, it's not. It's not talked about actually in Nigeria. When someone actually acts differently, he's classed as a mad person. He's crazy. Oh, he's possessed by the devil. He's like, that's what it is. But when I came here and I see people act some type of way, and they say, oh my God, he's going through anxiety. He's depressed. Is that? I'm like, sometimes, and I felt bad at the time because I do be like low key kind of laughing. I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that is. I was just this happy. I was just this black kid that came to Ireland and was grateful and happy. And I'm like, thank fuck I'm not in Africa. I'm not suffering anymore. I can buy bread for 2 fucking cents. Oh my God, I'm the most happiest guy in the world. Then I started after a while of living with this happiness and gratefulness and drinking and taking drugs, and I started getting withdrawals. Then I started feeling pains. Now, when I mean pain, like physical pains, heart pains, like sadness, emotions. You're trying to be successful as a father. You're trying to do good things. You're trying to pay your taxes. You're trying to be a successful person. You're getting backlash online from people that's affecting your businesses, and your name is trending for the wrong reasons, and all these things. You're worrying about financial status. You go back home. You're having an argument with your partner over something little because you pee on the toilet seat that doesn't even matter. You just a lot of things as a man, a lot of things are going through your mind. Then you start having this anxious feeling. You start having this depression, and the pain start creeping in. Then I was like, oh my God, this is real. I found myself in a dark tunnel. I've never believed in this in my life, and now I see myself in this tunnel of darkness, and the only way I know myself is with drugs and with alcohol. And I found myself that, I've always defended it like, nah, I'm just having a great crack, but no, I was only numbing my emotions and stuff like that. Then I didn't see my little boy, and because I was going through that pain, and I'm looking at him happily jumping from couches to couches, I'm like, this motherfuckers have no pain, and he's doing all these things. I'm like, I don't want him to get that pain I'm having right now. So for me to be a role model, I can't be giving out to him, telling him not to do things when I'm doing it, or because I'm going through shit, then because of that anger I'm going through, I'm going to transfer that anger onto him and be giving out to him and be evil to him. Because my dad went through addiction too, and he died from it as well, and I knew how much he portrayed that on me. I want to be that guy who is not able to transfer that to my son. So when I see my son and I see my daughter, and I'm like, you know what? This is not the life I want to live. I want to be able to be a good role model to my children. Not just to my children. I want to be able to be a good role model to my followers, to my fans, to people that look up to me. So when I found myself in darkness and I was going through hard times, I said to myself, I genuinely made that decision. I don't know if it's called the cold turkey, whatever it's called. I genuinely made that decision. I said to myself, I don't want to feel this way because I want a better life for me. I loved myself. I think I had to love myself. I had to fall in love with me, because if I wasn't able to do that, I won't be able to come out of that depression cycle I was on. I had to be able to say to myself, okay, you know what? Instead of me to stay in bed and worry and think about all this situation and cuddling in this comfortable position I'm in, which is creating more fear into me and it's crippling me, I'm going to be confident and take that bold step and go on a walk and go to the gym and speak to someone and have the crack and keep doing what you're doing. And people don't understand that's how the Black Paddy emerged, actually, because the Black Paddy was just me just in my house in Kildare, just chilling, depressed to fuck, giving out about everything, the pandemic, the lockdown, me losing my job, me not making enough money, me anxious about the COVID money I was getting, because I know I was getting COVID money, but I was anxious like this. I don't think this is real. I don't know. It can go any time now. I was really anxious about that feeling, and that was me saying, you know what? Fuck all these things. I'm gonna go out there and just live life. And it was just me going out of my house saying, hello, what's the story? Come here, what's so special about Kildare? Where can I get a good Guinness in this place? And trust me, whenever I do that video and I go back home, I feel so much sense of joy because I've spoken to so much happy people, and I go back home and I work on this material and I portray it to the world, and people see this joy and people watch it and they like it because they've seen joy. And that's how the Black Paddy was made, to be honest with you. It was out of my darkness, and I said, you know what, let me start portraying joy to the world. Let me bring out the happy version of me. But deep down, at the beginning of Black Paddy, I will go out and pretend to be happy, and I go home and I'm sad again. Then after a while, it just became a thing whereby I forgot about my sadness, and it was more happiness. So that's how genuinely I changed my situation from being depressed to being happy.
Is it in the past? It's a chapter that you feel is history and closed.
So
these cycles.
So it's not closed. Like it's an ongoing circle. It will always be there. But I'm just grateful that I had the ability to face it and overcome it. So the thing is, when you can overcome something, at the end of the day, it's not over. This world is not a world that, oh shit, okay, you know what? That's it. I just beat depression and I'm free now. No, another style of depression will come up again. So it's up to you to be mindful, to see the pattern and say, okay, this has happened before. So what do I have to do? And it's all about the choices you make, because before I used to blame a lot of things. I used to say, this is the reason why, that is the reason why. But now I am, instead of me playing the victim mode, I am now the reason why things happen to me. So it's all about my choice. So if I do some certain thing and tomorrow I feel some certain type of way, I'm going to look back. Why did this happen to me? Like recently, I went through a lot of backlash online. Okay, and it created a lot of hatred and division and all this stuff like that. And I was like, I could have easily blamed and say, oh, you know what? The Irish people are just fucking racist. I don't think they like black people. I think your man that interviewed me, he's trying to put me down, he's trying to do this to me. But it's all about at the end of the day, it's all about the choices that I make, because like if I analyze, because I sat down to myself and I genuinely analyzed the situation, and I said to myself, you know what? I've been through this before. I've been through this darkness before, and I'm human. They're human. They are probably going through their darkness, okay? So when I see people act a certain type of way, in my mind straight away, I won't lie to you, I say to myself, they're just going through darkness and they don't know who to put their darkness on. So the only way to do it is the first person they know to put that energy on is that's all they know. And it's up to me to suck that energy in and take it and roll with it. But the only way I cannot let that affect me is to be aware of it. Instead of me to accept, like for example, I was on the bus. I was on the train in Connolly Station on my way to Belfast one time for a gig, and while I was on the train, I was sitting down on the train, and this guy came over to me, and he was meant to sit beside me, and I don't know, I think he probably know me. He goes, "Oh, instead of him sitting beside me, he sat on the next chair right beside me." And he goes, "You're the man with Black Paddy, aren't you?" And I go, yeah, that's me. Oh, and he goes, "Oh no, I watch your videos." Yeah, and I was like, yeah, thank you so much. I'm really happy that you're a big fan. And he was like, "You know what? I think you're racist towards Irish people. You don't really like Irish people, don't you?" And I won't lie to you, when he started that conversation, I could easily use that energy to explain to him about what he's saying is wrong. I'm a nice guy. I'm not racist towards Irish people. But do you know what I did straight away when he started that conversation? I said, look, come here, listen, I'm not racist towards Irish people, man. I got up and I went straight up to the VIP section. I said, can I pay extra to stay there? And your mom was like, yeah, why not? And I paid extra. And I stayed in the VIP all throughout the journey. But guess what? I felt happier for the whole journey, and I got off and I felt good. I went to do my gig and I left. But imagine I stayed there, argued with him for the whole journey. That would have lowered my vibration. I would have left that train drained, because I don't feel like I need to talk to him about what he's going through. He's probably not going through a happy, like if he's a happy person, he wouldn't want to even start a conversation. He would genuinely appreciate my job, what I do and stuff like that. So I just feel like a lot of people are going through darkness, and the only way they can actually portray that darkness is to be negative, So I just ignore all this type of things, and I just kind of move on, because I've been through that part before. I've been through darkness. I've blamed so much people. I've actually point my fingers at my missus, my dad, my people around me, my neighbors, the media, But I've chose to use myself as an example. I'm like, you know what? It's all about my choices. Everything that's going on in my life is all on me. So that's how I've actually genuinely dealt with depression and anxiety.
So it's an example of you actually physically escaping a situation where you get this wave of negative energy. But it must happen, and it does happen so frequently, so often. And you can't always sort of get yourself out of that situation.
It's actually constant, like genuinely constant. Like, for example, I haven't, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I haven't posted in a while. And the reason why I generally have, I was actually saying that to you earlier today, I would like to do a video around Amar just to launch my new posting. The reason why I haven't posted in a while is because of a lot of negative comments I'm getting online, because of the fact that people are putting out videos of me with the wrong context. They're not using the right context. They're clipping out videos of me saying certain things, but not saying it the way I want them to say it. I don't know if you understand. So, and it's causing so much controversy towards me. A lot of people are commenting negative things to me, like, yeah, go back to your country. You're not welcome here. You're an NGO. I don't even know what an NGO means. I had to go Google what NGO means, or you're an implant, or I'm being paid by the government. I'm like, I don't think they're paying me well then, because if they paid me, I would have done proper job for them. But it's just that I'm getting so much hatred online, and I'm like, you know what? I'm giving it a break, because this is my choice. This is my choice.
So you've gone to England in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Is that also a sort of is this part of sort of escape, going to a new environment and ejecting yourself from this climate?
No, it's basically I went to London, and that was actually before that happened. Actually, so I went to London, and it happened right when I came back from London. Actually, so this happened right when I came back, and how I do my vlog is I traveled somewhere, and I come back home and I edit my vlogs, that kind of way. So it happened. So it looked like, but like after all this happened to me, I was thinking of actually traveling away to give myself a break as well from everything, because everywhere I go to, I get asked so much questions, or I get some type of looks. But I was genuinely thinking of traveling out of Ireland just to take a break from this negativity. But the funny thing happened. So while I'm at home and I'm like looking at comments of negativity, but as soon as I step outside, I get so much love. People come over to me and say, "Look, I'm sorry you have to endure this. Black Paddy, you're one of us." And the best one was yesterday, actually. A little boy came over to me. Not a little boy, he's 25 years of age. And two of them, this happened twice that night. So I was in a pub drinking, and this kid came over to me. He's 25 years of age. He was with his friends. They all came over to me. They were young guys, big, huge fan of me. They took pictures with me and everything. And they were like, "Black Paddy, we love you. Don't listen to what you're saying. We know you since we were 14."
Where was that?
In Dublin.
All right.
And because I do like teenage discos, I host teenage discos. I used to do like play rights venue and attitude disco, and these kids were there when I used to entertain, and they're a big fan. And for them to watch me as an idol growing up, and it was so sad to see people giving out to me, because they love me since they were a kid, and now they're like 25 years of age, and they know me for that long. I'm part of their lives as well. And for them to see what's happening to me, they're like, "We're really sorry. You're like, you're well loved," and stuff like that. And I walked to the next bar, and this guy from the north, he came over to me, and I was like thinking, "Oh my God, don't tell me you're gonna give out to me," because whenever I hear after that guy gave out to me at the protest, because he had a Northern Irish accent, I've been like, "Oh shit!" Whenever I hear the Northern Irish accent, I'm like, "Is he coming to give out to me again?" They're like, "No, Paddy and I, we love you and we think you're amazing. I don't listen to them negative people." And I was like, "Oh, look at this!" I'm getting so much love from the people, and that kind of remind me that all these negative people are just little 10% of the crowd. 90% of people are loving people, are welcoming people. You know, it's just unfortunate like when you go to a big massive gathering, there's always going to be few negative people, and these people don't represent the country or the people. You know, they're like they're just there to actually like kind of like, you know, tear people down. And this constant negativity that I've been getting has made me want to, like, you know, genuinely, like, you know, okay, sure, just go to Spain and relax and enjoy yourself. But
well, should we get into what you're talking about first?
Yeah.
Maybe some people don't know what this negativity you're talking about is, or what we've been embroiled in. So
all right, now the main reason why all this hatred is coming from is people are taking my word out of context. So
what word's that?
So okay, right. So I once got interviewed on TG Kaha by an Irish comedian called Hector, and he was asking me about the integration of minorities in Ireland. What do I think about the different cultures in Ireland? And I was like, wow, Irish people are very welcoming. They're very great people. I've been welcomed a lot here in Ireland. I mean, things has been going really well for me. But as you can see, I am now experiencing different cultures in Ireland now, compared to when I came here, 24 years ago. You know, now I can see like Brazilians, Polish, Italians, Romanians, different African people. There's different, like you go to Dublin right now and there's different cultures of people in Dublin, you know. And I just made a quick joke and I said, with the amount of cultures coming into Ireland, I feel like the whites are going extinct here. And it was just a joke I said, right? I was just, you know, I've always been that guy. I've always been that guy with sense of humor. You know, just like the Irish people. I remember one time an Irish guy saw me in Dublin and he goes, "Yeah, come here. I'm not racist, all right? I have a black and white TV at home." I'm like, you know, it's just the way. The Irish, but it's just being sarcastic. And I felt like, okay, sure, let me just throw a quick joke in there, guys. You know yourself. But they took that little bit I said and they put it online on Twitter and they captioned that video and say, "Black Paddy promoting genocide." I don't even know what genocide meant. I had to Google that as well. I was like, "What's genocide?" Then when I saw the meaning, I was like, "Oh my God, that is deep now." I mean, that is a sad thing to put up online. And when that video was out, that was crazy. Now, another thing that got them mad was on the 12th of July.
Sorry, can I just go into that bit first?
Yeah.
Is that something you foresee in the future, that Irish people or white Irish people will become a minority or become extinct? Is that something that bothers you? Is it something you want? Was there a truth in that joke, or how do you feel about that? I mean, we know that there is this overarching narrative that of this sort of idea of replacement that frightens a lot of people. Other people will say, "Well, no, because immigration's low and all that." How do you feel about that?
Obviously, I don't believe white people will go extinct. Like, Jesus Christ is white, and like, I don't know. I don't feel like I don't think such a thing can happen. You know, I just feel like there's mass migration issue.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. And it's affecting people like me as well, because, like, you know, I feel like there's so much, you know, foreign people coming into the country illegally that's affecting people like us that's illegal in this country for a long time. And it's just kind of sad to see that this is happening in the new island now that we live in right now, and it's affecting us in like getting houses. You go to hospitals, you know, there's not enough, you know, facilities in the hospital. You know, it's a lot of homeless Irish people on the street, you know, that kind of way. So it's affecting, you know, that kind of way. And people are just voicing out and talking about this type of issue. But when it comes to white people going extinct, it was just a bit of a joke, because it says a lot. You know, if anyone is smart and understandable, will understand that, okay, cool, this is an Irish country, it's a white man's country, basically. And the fact that so many foreign people are coming in unvetted is affecting the people in the country. And the people are saying, we don't want that to happen. Like, if you look at the video about me in the protest, a lady was screaming at me, "Go home, go home." I'm like, bitch, I'm home. Where the fuck will I go? Like, this is where I live now, you know. If you stop burning the buses and Lewis, I won't be able to go home. But like, it's just.
Do you see why people would, that statement why people would react that way to a sentiment like that. Do you think that was, or do you regret saying that? Do you think it was?
It's not about regretting saying that. It's just that people. I just feel sorry for people who took that joke wrongly. One, and I feel sorry for the fact that people actually genuinely think I'm a bad person or I'm racist because of the way people twisted that video. If they watch that video from the beginning, will know how much of a good person that I am, and I don't have to prove that because I know deep down I'm a good person. I travel around Ireland and I show off the Irish culture. I talk about how great the Irish people are, that kind of way. All I know is just, the Irish people gave me so much opportunity. I've traveled abroad just because of the Irish people, and it's just kind of sad to see that people don't see that. And most of the people that are actually like talking about me in a negative way don't actually really know me, because a lot of people that are loving me online, they followed me from the beginning of this journey. So when I make joke like that, people just get mad. I slag myself. I call myself the Black Paddy. I talk about black people. I talk about white people. And the funny thing about this is black people give out to me as well that I'm being racist towards black people. I'm like in the middle.
What's the rationale for that?
Yeah, so just the fact that I call myself Black Paddy, or I say some jokes about, you probably wouldn't tell I'm Irish because I drink too much Guinness. That's why I'm so black, and black people don't like that joke. I talk like I'm that guy who literally just say it how it is. I use humor to explain what's going on, and sometimes it can be very hard, especially when you're in the middle of two entities. You're not Irish. I don't feel like I represent Catholic or Protestants or black or white or whatever. I just feel like I am just a being who is living this earth and literally giving out value with my gift, making people happy and bringing people together. So that's how I feel basically.
Sorry, Matt.
So sorry, just the second part then. Are you mocking Irish people when you go around doing your accent and going around pubs and making homeless people do push-ups? Are you mocking that homeless guy? Are you mocking the Irish people, or was there more context to that as well?
So that's another very sensitive video. So for those who haven't watched that video, at the time during the lockdown, a lot was happening. I was trying to bring smile to the country. I remember jumping into the fountain naked in the middle of Dublin during the lockdown. I've done so much things during the lockdown. So at the time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a challenge going. I'm going to start challenging people for push-up, €1 per push-up. I was challenging different people. I challenged this school girl. She did 20 push-up. I gave her €20. There was this guy that worked in a building site. He couldn't even do 20. He did about 17, but I gave him €17. Then I was just giving this challenge to different people. And this homeless guy happened to see me giving this girl money while I was doing the homeless push-up challenge, and I didn't want to exclude him or say just because you're homeless you're not invited to this challenge. I was like, you know what, this is part of inclusiveness. Let me get him as well in this challenge, and I got him as well to do the challenge, and I gave him the 20 quid. Now the funny thing happened, once I gave him the money, guess what he said? He goes, here, my mate around the corner as well. He's gonna be able to do the challenge as well. And I went over to his mate, and he did the challenge too, and I gave him money. And when I put that, the thing about that is that they took that part of the video of the homeless guy and made it look like I was taking advantage of the homeless guy, and that got me into so much trouble. Now I feel like going to that homeless guy right now and be like, you know what, can I just have my money back? Because that's after costing me a lot of damage back, yourself. Because
I don't think the homeless guy raised it though, did he?
No, he didn't. He was happy. He was genuinely happy, and I heard he's passed away right now. God rest his soul. He was really happy when I gave him that money. He was genuinely like, joyfulness, and it was like, like he was smiling. It's just the fact that people took that video out wrongly, and for those who actually genuinely saw that video and the way the video come across in a bad way, I apologized about that, because making the homeless guy do a push-up challenge in that way, I genuinely felt sorry, but the intention was pure. I didn't really mean to take.
You didn't go there to say I'm going to get a homeless man to do stuff for me.
That's not in my nature. I wouldn't. I've been homeless myself, and I know what it is to be homeless. So like, it's I don't know. I felt bad genuinely for him and his family. But look.
So with these experiences behind you of videos being spliced up and edited in such a way to make you feel bad, does it sort of change your strategy in making videos and your behavior? Will you think twice about doing something? You might think, okay, there's a risk here that this could be taken up the wrong way by a ABC group or whatever. Has what you've gone through here, has it led you to sort of think, I need to be more careful about what I'm doing?
Yeah, so it's now, I would like to you, after all this backlash I've been getting from different type of videos, it actually has made me to think twice, but not change who I am. I will always be who I am. I will always be funny. I will always be real. I will always be authentic. I'll always do what my heart says. But when it comes to, thinking twice about something, that's what I'm going to put that into consideration. Like, for example, I'm never going to go to the 12th of July anymore now. That's it. I'm done. That's the last. That was it. There's no part two about that one now. I'm genuinely done. But I'm just saying, it's just me, like, because I don't wanna cause war between my followers anymore. My job right now is to bring people together with humor and have the crack. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to stay out of politics. I'm just going to keep being the Black Paddy and having a good crack now.
I know that there are many people who would be fans of yours who would be fans because they would enjoy videos like that 12th of July video, because that was you going and getting really interesting interactions with people that was entertaining, it was interesting, it was fascinating.
Yeah.
If you now say that kind of style of video is off the table now, I know that there'd be people who'd be disappointed about that.
Well, like it's not like it's off the table. Like, yourself, it's still around the corner, like in a drawer. But I'm just saying that it's just that it's not like I'm not gonna go to the 12th of July I've done it, I've experienced it, I've showed the world this is the tradition. Now me going back there again might be, so if there's anything else happening, I would like to go. If there's a new thing I've never done before that's been done by the other people, I would like to go and see. Like, no one's going to stop me. The world is free. I'm allowed to go to anywhere. I'm allowed to experience culture. I'm allowed to travel anywhere and do what I want to do. Nobody can tell me, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. I'm not with any group. I'm just me. That kind of way. So, like, for example, I can travel to any country right now and experience two rival culture. I can be like, okay, cool. I mean, tomorrow I can go to Bulgaria and let's say in Bulgaria this is happening. Or, for example, India and Pakistan, the two rival people. I can go to Pakistan. I'm like, oh my God, I love your culture. What an amazing culture. And I can go to India the next day. I'm like, wow, let me check your culture out. Wow, what a great culture. So at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm on anyone's side. I'm just on my side and God's side. So that's what I believe in. So it's not like that style of video is gone. It's just that I have shown you guys what the 12th of July is like, and they're very friendly, they were welcoming, they accepted me, they shake my hands and stuff like that. It's just the fact that I got a backlash, I was called an NGO, I was called Implants, I was called Finian, I was called every names ever, So
you're not an NGO. You're not on the payroll of anyone to be a saboteur.
No, Jesus Christ, there's no payroll.
An NGO.
Just the only payroll I'm on is the social welfare. I'm not joking, but
you would say that.
Well, let's talk about the North, because we are a northern podcast. We're an Armagh-based podcast.
Okay.
We discussed this earlier. You blew away some of my sort of pre-existing prejudices about the 12th in Belfast.
Right.
Growing up in the 80s and 90s, that would have been a bit of a frightening thing for me if somebody said, let's go up to these parts of Belfast on the 12th, as it would have been a very frightening experiences for people on the other side to go to the other side events too. And that lingers 25 years on from the Good Friday Agreement. That still lingers. So I I'm maybe a little ashamed to say that I thought, if you went up to the 12th, then terrible things would happen to you if you weren't a GAA top and all that. And your video then, put me in my place. It should, nothing happened to him. And in fact, everyone in that video seemed nice, out to have a good time. And we discussed earlier the place of peacemakers, because you describe yourself as bringing people together. So that means you stand in the middle of two sides. And that's a dangerous place to be in this country a lot of the time. It's a very dangerous place to be in the north when things are bad. So I've seen you get backlash from both sides. For you've chased out of Carrickfergus for having a GAA top on.
Yeah.
You were I've seen you get quite a lot of abuse.
I got chased out of a pub in Carrickmore.
Chased out of Carrickmore as well.
We'll get into that.
Not much
that
like
was
with the Carricks.
interesting.
Stay out of anywhere called Carrick.
I didn't even know that
pattern.
I wish someone must have given me a quick warning. I didn't look. Like I said, I'm experiencing Ireland. I'm experiencing culture, and I'm having a great time.
Let me just finish that point. Are you aware of the position you're in? Are you aware that it's dangerous? Or are you aware that you're not standing there naively and waiting for people to throw rocks at you? You know what you're doing. You know the territory.
No, so I'm aware that when you stand in a position whereby you're building bridges, you're not picking side, you will definitely attract a lot of, negativity. I'm aware of that. Like I said, I'm a Christian, and I understand Jesus Christ was similar. He didn't pick side. He was a very nice person. He was more like, God is good, don't do wrong, be nice, do this. But he still got crucified on the cross, So, like, this world that we're living in right now, there's so much division happening. And with this division, so many people are milking off it. And people are making money from it. And a lot of companies are thriving from this division. So it's so set up that if you think you want to stay in the middle and bring people together, it won't work, because so many people are being manipulated into sides. For example, somebody can just say, look, I am with the prod, and this one saying I'm with the Catholic. But when there's an occasion happening, for example, when there's something about, let's say, a match, let's have a match about immigration, then the prod and the Catholic can come together and they'll do this. They'll be on that same match, which don't make sense to me. But if you just don't get along, but you guys will get along for something different, So it's just like the world is just manipulated so much that if people like me tend to stand in the middle and say, "Aye, peace on both sides," the other side will be like, who are you? This side will be like, who do you think you are? Pick a side, because we don't. You look like a snake. We don't know. You look confused. That kind of way. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of like, that's what I'm aware of. I'm really aware of that. But the reason why I'm doing what I do, I'm not doing it for me, or I'm doing it to be aware of. I'm doing it for the future of this beautiful country. I'm doing it for the future of the young generation. I'm doing it for our kids. I'm doing it for and I genuinely will challenge people to stay open-minded and question things, especially young people. Question everything. Everything that you go through in your life. Just don't receive every information and just consume it. Question every single thing that you go through, and that has been my mindset since I was a kid. I've always been a curious kid, and it has gotten me into so much trouble from being a kid. I've got a lot of smacking from being curious, so it's just who I am as a person, Yeah. So,
what happened in the Carrickmore incident?
Yeah,
what was that?
So I went to do a promo for an Airbnb. And after the promo was done, I said, sure, let's go out and have, a few Guinness. And I did a little pub crawl because it's a very small town with only 4 pubs. So I went to all the pubs, and the last pub I walked into, I was kicked out, bro. As soon as I walked in, the 2 lads was like, "Yeah, come here, welcome here." They grabbed me by the shirt, and they literally, I thought they were joking. I was about to actually bring my camera out to just video the experience, but they were squeezing my shirt pretty hard, hitting my head. I was like, oh, this is more tense than I thought it was. And I got kicked out of the pub. But
why? Was there a
You
reason?
weren't wearing an Armagh top? Tyrone Stronghold?
That'll do it.
I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like, I think it's just more like the fact that it's a small pub. It's like a members only kind of small, tiny pub. It's like man, if you see the pub, it's a real tiny pub around the corner, and I just
Because you were filming then?
I wasn't actually filming that
Oh.
time. It was just me. Literally.
Did they give you a reason?
No,
Or did they just throw you
no,
out?
You still don't know?
Just throw me out. Like I said, I was every like problem I get into in Ireland, I'm actually not filming. That's weird. So I think I need to start filming 24/7. Like the protest, I wasn't filming as well. Like me getting kicked off Carrickmore, I wasn't filming. So it's whenever I'm not filming, it kind of happens. So like I wasn't
Not
actually
to jump back, but I missed a question back there. Why were you at the protest? That was
So I
confusing.
live in Dublin. I live in Dublin town, the city center. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like I started this thing called I started this acting course. So I went to an acting course in the morning to do my acting course, and I finished my acting course. So on my way back home, I had to go through town, and I saw them marching by because the whole street was blocked,
Right.
and I was standing on the side of the road. If you watch the video I put up anyway, just me standing on the side of the road and people coming up to me, oh, Black Paddy, they were hitting the drum. They were coming up to me taking pictures, just me on my bike there standing, and this guy literally saw me go, oh, Black Paddy, what's the story? And he had this big Irish flag and he put it on my bike. Yeah, here we go. And it was just like that. And bump into that guy and he went angry at me.
So this was it was by chance. I thought you'd stuck that flag in your bike yourself.
No.
and
A
were
guy
part of the-
guy just gave me the flag. It was two people gave me flags actually. A guy gave me a little flag, and this guy gave me the big flag. Like I said, my life is just like I'm like a walking manifestation. I just walk and I see things happen. But out of being nice and being happy, I don't think nothing of it. I don't see it. I'm like, no, Jesus Christ. There's a racist people. No, I saw my beautiful country fighting for the problems that they're going through, and I saw like, okay, this is fair enough. I have no problem with you guys, And same thing as the 12th of July. I saw the Orange Men. They were marching. These guys love my videos. They comment on my videos. They actually they're big fans, and I'm like, that's that's who I am as a person. I'm loved on both sides, So I don't know how to say no or no. I just
Yeah, but you also made a conscious decision to wear the shamrock jacket on the 12th of July. So
Yeah.
there is that edge that
Yeah.
you seek as well. Or
So yeah,
it looks like that.
Yeah. So I did that out of being nice. I did out of being nice because I could have worn a GA Dublin jersey, which would have been more like you're looking
Provocative.
Yeah. So I wore Shamrock. Shamrock for me is more like friendly. There's no GA on it. There's no football on it. It's just a Shamrock jacket. So it's more a symbol of Irish, of togetherness. Like, I don't know how I see it.
You didn't expect that to get a reaction in Belfast on the 12th of July wearing a green shamrock jacket?
No, I just felt like they're going to see me and they're going to be like, oh my God, Black Paddy came to support and they're going to be happy, which happened. When they saw me, with the shamrock jacket, they were really joyful and happy. Even there was this couple of ladies trying to get a jacket off me. They were like, get that jacket off! Like, what you doing? Give me that my bleeding jacket!
That's very funny.
Yeah. So it was good crack. It was actually like it's just the fact that when people see me, especially in the north, they don't just see a black man. They see joy. They see like, wow, this guy is bringing so much joy, so much happiness. The amount of people that see me on the street, before they see me, they have this like really sad, angry face. But as soon as they see me, they light up. They're happy. They're like, wow. They take pictures of me. I genuinely spend time. I'm not like my videos are real. I don't really just go around town and just walk. No, I spend time with people. I stay in town with people. I have a chat with them. I have a crack with them. I go into the pub. I drink Guinness with them. I spend genuine time with people. I get to feel the atmosphere of that town, the spirit of that town. So that's basically what I do.
But in places like Carrickfergus and Carrickmore, they obviously didn't feel that you were bringing
Oh.
joy to those particular.
Oh my God!
So what do you think happened in Carrickmore? What's your explanation?
Carrickmore was actually when I got into Carrickmore, they were very friendly. They were very.
But in that pub,
Yeah.
why do you think that they had a problem with you?
So
in that pub?
that's still
don't know.
until this day. I won't lie to you. Do you know what's funny? Right when I left, I was thinking, is it because I had a GA jersey on? Is it because I was? Is it because were they proud? Were they Catholic? I didn't even know, honestly. until later on I found out they were Catholic. I was like, wait, what? Because I thought they were Protestants or something like that. That's, I don't know. That's what I was thinking in my head. Then when I realized they were Catholic, I was like, God damn, this is I don't know. It's pretty strange. And the funny thing was, the pub wasn't as busy as well. It wasn't as busy. Like, I went to different pubs in Carrickmore, and I got 3 points in few pubs. People was coming up to me. In fact, when I got kicked out of that pub, I went to the last pub, and it was mayhem. They saw me, all the women was like all over me. So till this day, I still don't know.
It was widely reported that it was a racist incident, and
Yeah,
did you feel that was part of it?
Like I said, the media has its own way of making things happen. When they put that up and they said racism, I was like, all right, I don't know if they...
I didn't hear any racist remarks in the
Yeah.
video. Were there any?
No, your mom was just like, get out of here, welcome here, get out here, get out of here, and they didn't say the N-word, or they didn't say anything like that. So just like literally what they would do to a local who's not welcomed in there, like, get away, no, you're not welcome here, now get away. So like, but the media obviously will change things. Like I said, my life has always been like that from the beginning. It's just how the media works. So when they want to sell things, they use that kind of situation to narrate things, to make it look like, oh, this happened because of this. But until this day, I still don't know. Right. I don't mind. I probably will go do Carrickmore again and do a part 2 just to confirm and see what the story. I want to go. Maybe it's going to be a video of Black Paddy finding out why he got kicked out. I don't know.
Well, you said you wore the Shamrock suit to the 12th,
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to wear. And this is classic North. This is
Yeah.
what, do you tailor your content, your behavior, what you wear to when you're in the North to whatever area you're going to?
Very, very well. Very, very well. So, like, if I'm in the South, I have no fear. I'm very, like, I feel like I'm home. No one's going to give out to me. No one's going to tell you to get the fuck out or something like that. But when I'm in the North of Ireland, I will genuinely try my best to watch what I do or what I wear. Like when I did it, Trandagee, when I visited Trandagee to try the Tato Crisp, I made sure I had no GA jersey on. Because in my mind, I'm like, because man, if you walk into Trandagee, it's very like intimidating town. They have this all, Jack flags everywhere. It's like literally everywhere. And I'm like, this is a town whereby you probably would get like literally like attacked if you mess around here. So like I kind of like know like when I was in Carrickfergus, in my head I see Carrickfergus as a very mixed town, Catholic and Prod and stuff like that. Then I was like, you know what, sure, it'll be grand. And one thing as well that I do is that whenever I visit like some town that are like very Protestant, my humor is a bit calmer. So like for example, if I go to Ardoyne, I'm very like, what's the story, boy? Yep, the Black Paddy in the house. Hello, what's the story? How's everybody doing? Because I know they're gonna accept me. They're very welcoming and stuff like that. But when I go to the like of Shankill, I can't do that because it's like I feel like first of all, Shankill is a very proud town. You don't go. I can't go in there. I'm like I go in there. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Sorry, can I try Guinness here? Is it possible I can try Guinness here? Because I'm still dealing with humor, that kind of like I remember like this the sad part of this video that I'm still raging on till this day was when I go to Shankill, my camera guy didn't press record at this part, and I was raging that happened because as we're going into the pub, and this as soon as I was walking in, this guy was like, what are you doing here? You're not welcomed here. How did he say it? Oh, he said a certain word, right? And I felt like that was so funny for an intro, because that could have put me off, and I could have gone back home straight away. Genuinely, no, I'd been out straight, but I didn't judge the town off that one man. It was my first encounter. I was putting my mic on and everything, and I was trying to get into the pub, and he said that. I was like, oh my God, we could have recorded that part. But we didn't get that on record because he said it genuinely, like he wasn't really like, welcoming, that kind of way. And he walked out of the pub straight away. But I could have just be like, oh my God, I don't think I should keep on doing this video. But I didn't judge Shankill off that guy. I did a video anyway, walked into the bar and had a chat with the people in the bar, and they were very friendly, they were very happy. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to the next pub and try burger. Went there, and I seen this guy pull up in his car, and I was like, oh, it's about to go down, bro. And the guy came out of the car, was like, Black Paddy, come here. And he gave me this orange jumper to wear. And he goes, take this jumper. And I want the jumper. And he took me to this mural. And he took a picture of me with the mural. And it was just calm. Everything was calm. He took me to the ice cream shop, got me free ice cream. Bro, what a day in Shankill, like, you know. So it was a different kind of vibe, and they were very welcoming as well.
Is that tailoring your approach out of fear or out of respect?
So it's out of respect, basically. So there's fear. Fear is just knowing the history and knowing what has happened, and knowing that, oh, this might go wrong. They might tell you to get out, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's out of respect, because the intention is you're bringing people together with your humor. So the only way you can approach it is like by respecting the people in the town. Then you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is there a difference between Ardoyne, confident, outgoing, and the Shankill, reserved? Is that to match what you perceive as the cultural differences between the two sides?
No.
Is there more similarity between the Irish identifying side of the North with the South, that you already, there's an easy transfer there for you, but the other side of the North is different?
The confidence is the Irish flag. As soon as I get to my door and I saw that orange, white, I'm like, ha, I'm fucking home, guys. That's just my confidence. When I see the Union, I'm like, ooh. That's my own, I don't know, maybe that's how I see it, you know.
Yeah, why would the Union Jack give you that reaction?
It gives me the reaction because of the history. It's just the history, and just the fact that, especially when I was learning about the Irish history, about the English oppressing the Irish, it brought back memories of my hometown in Africa as well. The English oppressing Nigerians, and that's why I call myself the Black Republican. You know, fuck the English.
Here's another can of worms we're gonna.
No, but like, you know, it's just that kind of like, you know, it rings bell to the African history too. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? Look, at the end of the day, it's all humor. I know they've oppressed us. They've come to our country and done what they had to do, whatever it is in the history of the Africans. So I'm more like, I'm moving on from it. I'm only trying to make peace now, you know. So I'm applying that either in Africa or in Ireland. So that's my vision when I see the flag, basically. Yeah. I
don't know if you want to jump in, 'cause I just had another one, but I realize I'm hogging the.
I mean, I'm just, it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating what you just said. This sort of cultural differences, just on that, I mean, as an observer and on your travels, and you've been to so many places around the country, are there any really big differences? I mean, north and south as well? Is there do you, between northerners, southerners, you know, I mean, things change in this country every few miles. The accent, the people, the flags on the lampposts. I mean, do you feel and see those? You obviously do, as you've just said. It's the flags set you off. They trigger a reflex in you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you perceive these? You know, even within our county, this is an Armagh-based podcast. The northern part of the county is very, very different from the southern part of the county, and you know, from how it's made up, its demographics, its history.
I think there's no one that's proud of flags more than the northern people. Anyway, there's like in the north, you don't see people like genuinely like flowing flags everywhere, like putting flags. In the south, sorry, you don't see like so much flags. But if you come to the north, you see a lot of flags here in the north. You know, so it's just kind of like, you know, it's just kind of like the difference between both places. You know, like when I come to the north, I see so much flags, both the Irish and the Union flag. But if you come to the south, you barely see flags. Like, you know, you just barely see flag. You know, that kind of way. So like even accent changes from the north as well to the south. So that's why people come over to me and say, "You don't have an Irish accent." I'm like, "Yeah, have you been to Ireland? There's 20 different fucking accents in the country. So this is the Black Paddy accent."
20? Oh, there's 20 different accents in Armagh.
Lurgan and Crossman.
You know, so
it really is.
It's like, you know what I mean? So my accent is confused, right? My accent's like a slushy at this stage, man. There's African, Northern, South, Armagh.
Can you give me, this is what I know I love this, and a lot of people I know from the north love this, because we didn't have outsiders for a long time. we like to hear the impression from outsiders of the North. Because you lived in the South, you come up here, you've travelled around it a lot.
Yeah.
What is it really, really different? Is it an instant difference? Can you feel
very,
the difference?
Very, very different.
How would you
Like,
characterize it?
Like I feel like the northern accent is very like more like very subtle. It's more like friendly because it sounds melodical. Saturday night. Oh, that's us night. All that it's kind of like whereby in the South is very like kind of like you don't want to mess around with the proper dub. Like, all right, here, what's the story? Come here to me, or you get me brother from Ballymun after you get away me now, but it's more like it's different. It's a different vibe. Or you go to the countryside, like, come here, hi, what's going on, hi? That's my farm, hi. It's just a different kind of like, I don't know. There's different accents in different places.
Do you find it intimidating, the North, at all? Because a lot of people used to, but I don't think they would now. But that image of the intimidating Northern...
I don't find the Northern Irish accent intimidating. I find it more like, so now I will fall asleep on the Northern Irish accent.
Right.
I think it's very like, it's more like relaxing, I don't know. I think the Northern Irish accent will be more relaxing to my ears,
What about the place? Do you find it?
I find Northern Ireland so, oh my God, I find Northern Ireland very, very welcoming, man. I just, whenever, like, when I started doing my vlog in the North, I just feel like, wow. Actually, you know what? The Northern Ireland made Black Paddy more famous, actually.
All right.
Yeah, that's one thing I've realized.
How
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, because I felt like they're very like, I don't know. They're very welcome. The northern people love having the crack. They're very happy all the time. I used to think maybe is it the alcohol or what it is. But man, I do videos on the daytime and the same thing. They're just welcoming. They're very happy. They're ready to have a chat with you. Like they go on and tell stories. I'm like, wow. It's like I've been to places like Katie and they invite me to their houses and like man, it's just mad.
It's really interesting because there's this perception
Yeah.
that the North is more sort of uptight. And the South is more relaxed and fun and happy.
Maybe because I live so long in the South, but the North is just
exotic.
Yeah, I love the North, man. There's so much to do here, like it's crazy. Yeah,
We get a lot of older people from England, Scotland, and the South. Probably Wales too. I don't know why Wales always gets left out. But and they grew up during the Troubles years or had a foot in the Troubles years, and they're shocked at how nice, because it's such a disparity. You look at the footage from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then you come here and people always describe us as they're just the nicest, most friendly, open people. It's very hard to square that history with the people you encounter here.
Yeah, like you hear about the history about the North, and you come into the North and be like, whoa. This is totally like opposite, like very like it's just you get scared coming, and you come in and you're like, wow, I want to come again. Did
you get scared coming the first time?
Oh hell yeah,
yeah.
I got scared. I was like, whoa, I don't know what to expect. I had a few friends telling me, sure, you don't want to go to the North now and do what you do here now. I don't think they will find it likely, but.
And we stopped off at the crack pot for a green tea.
Yeah.
And a latte.
That's Finian tea.
Yeah, Finian tea. And that brought me to the part where I said, face your fears, man. Like, if I had my fear of not coming to the North and just stayed in the South and do what I do, I wouldn't be where I am today. But the fact I faced my fear and take that leap of faith and say, you know what, let me see what they're like. Are they really mean and
I don't understand where that confidence comes from, because I listen to your story, and if a person who's depressed or anxious or going through a rough time, we've all had it. The last thing I would be able to do is to pick up a phone and go to a town and start talking to people.
Yeah.
How on earth do you get from that state to coming up to the North, somewhere that you're a bit scared of, and walking around, putting yourself out there? Where does that drive come from? What drives it?
Yeah, well, honestly, it comes from God. Like I'm very prayerful. I'm very I'm very close to God. Like, I meditate all the time just to have conversations with him, and I will honestly say without him I am nothing, because like the amount of things that I have talked to him about and questioned him about, and am I a bad person? What they're saying about me, is it true? What is about me that is causing this hatred, But the Bible said, cast your problem not unto your own understanding, but unto Him, because He is the one that knows your ways and your future. So, like for me, whenever I go through a lot in my life, when I found Him, because I won't lie to you, when I was homeless and in my addiction, I strayed away from Him. I grew up in a religious home, but
And we're talking Christian,
yeah, Christian, so
evangelical, or
no, just like I call it like spiritual Christian. I call it like black Christian. I call it like just African Christian. I don't. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't
There's
have
no
like,
denomination,
yeah,
Baptist or
nothing
Protestant,
about it.
Catholic.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had Catholic in Africa, but we never went to Catholic church or So my dad was a Muslim as well. So like so we just,
What? Hang on a sec. Was he?
yeah, it was.
That's a surprise.
I know, yeah.
Because I met a Nigerian lady a few years ago, and her parents were Muslim and
Yeah,
Catholic, or Muslim and Christian
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
And she bounced. She was Muslim for a while, and then she became Christian.
Yeah.
We're going to stray a little bit off here, but that's a big surprise to a lot of people. And if you look at Nigeria on the surface, you can see that tension between the Muslim and the Christian people. When you see Boko Haram,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people don't know that Boko is a colloquialism for Western education or the Western way of life, and
Yeah.
Haram we know is the Muslim
Yeah.
word for forbidden. So that's very interesting that you have that mixed
So
heritage.
now you see where I'm coming from. I grew up with division.
Yes.
I grew up with Muslim. My mom was a Christian. My dad is a Muslim. And when the war would be happening, because I was born 1987, so I could witness all those things.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the fight and war was happening, my mom would take me to a village just to stay safe. Because my dad lived in the north, and that's the Muslim part, and they were literally like, they find that you're Christian, they will literally take you and kill you.
So the north again.
Yeah,
was
I've been
scary.
out. This is true, and I remember that.
So you went through the troubles in
Yeah,
Nigeria in a way.
I remember being in the bus and my mom would wrap us in there used to be like the Boko Haram. They have the police will stop us on the road, but they work for the Muslims. They will stop on the road and they'll search the whole car and ask you questions. If you ask your name, if your name is a Christian name, you get killed. Ooh. Yeah, it was a time. So I kind of like all those division. I grew up in those times, and it has my mentality growing up in those division time has changed me, and I don't want to see that again. I always wanted to bring people. Like I went to an integrated school in Nigeria as a kid as well, and I remember one time they had this during the exam. We have the Islamic exam and we have the Christianity exams, and I've always done the Christianity exams because of my mom. But one time, because in my class there's all the African kids in one class, and so during the exam time they will tell you, if you're Christian, go to the right, if you're Muslim, go to the left, and they will give you your papers and everything. Everybody knew me as a Christian. But this happened that day whereby I got up and I sat in the Muslim part. And I sat down there. That's how crazy I was since I was a kid. This is a true story. I sat down in the Muslim part. All the Christians was giving me dirty looks. All the kids were like, "What's going on? Why is David in that place? David, even named David, And I was sitting down there. The teacher saw me. She had a grim little smile on her face. That she's like, "Oh my God, you're setting an example." I know I did fuck all. I wrote nothing. I didn't know what I wrote. But when the exam came, I passed the whole thing. I'm like, oh, that's not real now. Maybe they gave me that for bravery. I don't know what they did that for, but it made me happy. And since then...
Is that a true story?
I swear to God.
Why would they pass you in an exam if you didn't write it?
Don't even know what... I was just scribbling around because it's like an objective question. Who brought Islam? Muhammad? A. This, B, C. I was just kind of like taking...
Did you have an Islamic education from your dad, or
kind of, a little bit?
Well, how did they decide who was going to be?
So
what kids were going to be?
That's one thing that's one thing I respect about my parents. They didn't put that pressure on us as a kid.
Okay.
They let us be. But at the beginning, my dad used to like, if you can't read the Islamic book, they will whip you with a cane. Oh my God! I remember when I was a kid, they would have to like Abakada Ifaga Ijakala Malawa Yata Uwayas. If you can't say that, you get a whip, and that I still have that trauma in my head when I was a kid. And you have to be able to say all those things, that kind of way. But growing up, my mom kind of like was very like calm. When I go to church, it was deadly. They used to give us biscuits and ice cream. I was like, I want to be a Christian. Oh my
So
God.
that's why you gravitated towards Christianity.
Yeah, it was calm and relaxed and cool, and all the kids can play on Sunday school, and it was so that kind of mindset. I had that mindset in my head, and grown up with that mindset, I said, look, I don't ever pick side. I want to be neutral. I don't care if you're Protestants, if you're Catholic, if you're black, if you're white. I don't care anymore. I want everybody to just get along and have the crack, that kind of way. So that's my mentality since then, Like even sometimes when I remember when I moved to Ireland and I was so much with the black community, I was very well known with the black community doing comedy stand up. When I started doing comedy for Irish people and start slagging my own skin color just to be among, they were hating me because of that. But I was only just trying to learn to see the culture, and so a lot of things have happened in my life. Black has turned on me. Now I'm with the white. The white is turning on me. Some of the Catholic are giving out to me for being with the Pro. Some of the Pro are giving out to me for being with the Catholic. So much has happened with this world of division, and I just want to stay with my faith by being neutral. Yeah.
So you're a practicing Christian.
Yeah, so
and you go to a church and everything here?
Go to church. Yeah, I'm spiritually very, very strong. Yeah.
Spiritually, what does that mean for you, spirituality?
So spirituality is more like, so I believe there's three. There's physical, there's mental, and there's spiritual. My physical me is very more like going to the gym, working out. The mental me is more like protecting my mindset, be mindful, watching out for things that I read. And the spiritual me is more like getting connected to source, to universe, and grounding myself and hugging trees and being part with nature. So that's me. That is very spiritual. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God, and that's just me personally.
And do you find that gives you a defense, a more robust defense against the mental health stuff? And do you think that maybe that's missing in people that do suffer that?
It's because like anyone that's going through a dark time right now, I would say to get more closer to God, to be very prayerful, because this is what you need to actually help you overcome whatever you're going through. Like the Bible says, don't sin, don't lust, don't gossip. All these laws are put for a reason. And when you follow these laws, you feel a little bit of, relief from your mind. Like when I was going through dark time and I went back reading the Bible and being mindful with myself, I got a relief. I got a little bit of liberation of my soul, of heaviness in my heart. And it left me because of how close I was to God. And sometimes you can go to a therapist and talk about your problems to a therapist, and they will listen to you, and they will maybe prescribe something to you, and that prescription that you're getting will maybe only get you more addicted to the more prescription, and you probably want more of that prescription because it has helped you from the past. But the difference between that prescription and talking to God is naturally you're healing yourself. The difference between that and God is it will take time. Prescription is good because when you take it, you get an immediate effect. That's what we're looking for, quick fix. But with God, it takes time. You need to train yourself back into that mindset of not being depressed anymore. It's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym today and work out, you won't just be ripped straight away. You have to go consistently to start seeing results. So that's just the way with me. When I'm closer to God, it's not like when I was depressed and I started reading the Bible, I was like, oh yeah, look at me, now I'm happy. No, but that mindset I've built along the way. After a while, after 7 days, 21 days of reading the Bible, of praying to God, I felt a little bit of liberation of that heaviness in my heart. Started lifting slowly, and I gained my confidence back, and my happiness back, and here I am having a chat with you guys without drinking or nothing like that. I'm just being myself. So it's being closer to God has helped me in so many ways.
Yeah, no, it's just back to flags and identity and immigration and where we are. where you are, how you feel as, and I'm trying to think of, I'll ask you how you describe yourself: Nigerian, Irish, Irish, Nigerian, Irish, Nigerian, or you said, but you said this really interesting thing earlier when you were in Ardoyne, and how when you saw the Irish flag there, the tricolour, it did actually sort of make you feel more comfortable, and you saw there was a thing of my flag. This is my flag. I feel more at home than I would do in the Shankill or when you saw the Union Jacks. So you had that connection with the Irish flag. And yet a few weeks ago you were in Dublin at that protest where there was many people, and there was a sea of Irish tricolours there. And I was also there actually reporting on it, working at that protest as a journalist. And yeah, one of the main chants of the people who were there marching down O'Connell Street and that was "Get them out." So you had thousands of people chanting that at the one time. And you were there, and so how did that make you feel? And if you heard it, and probably you did if you were at the protest, and you know, how does that make you feel as, please, in your own words, say how you self-identify? Is it a foreigner after all these years? Nigerian, Irish, Irish, Nigerian. I'd be fascinated to know that. But also this, your relationship to the flag and the Irish tricolour now. Is there a sense of it's no longer a sort of this peaceful green, white, orange? Maybe it's being sort of co-opted by people who are using or sort of appropriating the Irish tricolour as a, you know, the growing nationalist movement, and to the exclusion of people like yourself. That's a long question.
No. So basically, like I said, I see myself as an Irish person. Like, I was born in Africa but raised on Tato Crisp. Like, basically, I just feel like, you know, like when I was at the protest and I heard people saying, "Get them out," in my mind, I'm like, yeah, get the illegal immigrant out. Like, you know, like, okay, like I don't feel like they were speaking to me personally. You know, like I just felt like they were referring to the unvetted immigrant that's coming into the country. You know yourself, the mass immigration that's affecting them personally. That's who I felt like they were screaming at, not at me. But when I saw the whole tricolor flag, I felt peaceful. I'm like, you know what? This is Ireland. This is what represents the country. You know. Now, like, yeah, sometimes they can misinterpret that color. You know, because on that day, which was really funny enough, there was another group of people protesting. They didn't have the flag on. It was just, and the other people protesting saying "Get them out." They had the flag on. Now, that type of situation is very, very controversial because like the fact that the other people had no flag on was more like, look, we're not saying get them out. We're just saying that we are not racist. We are not racist. We're just saying that anyone is welcome to the country. And the people with the flag are saying we're not racist too, but we're just saying that there's too much people in the country. Do you get what I'm coming from now? So both of them are not racist. But one of them is saying anyone is welcome to the country and stuff like that. But the other hand, they're saying we're not racist, but we just feel like there's too much coming into the country. You know, that kind of way, and we are standing our ground. So the difference between those two people is there are some few people in the people with flag that are racist. 10% of people in the people holding the flag are racist. Like, literally, they're not even there for their gender. They're there for something different. Like the people screaming at me on that day saying "Go home." That's a racist remark. You don't know me just because of the color of my skin. You're screaming at me to go home. You know, that's not right. That's not the reason why the majority of people are here for. The majority of people are here to say, we're sick of mass immigration. We don't want that happening in our country. And we're standing up to the government by telling the government to stop. But you, 10%, are just not caring, by just screaming at every color of people to just go home. You know? So that was very hard for me, you know, telling me to, and at the end of the day, right, people like us legal immigrants who have settled, who work, who pay taxes in the country. You know, we've put in our sweat. I've been here for 24 years. I've worked very hard. I've paid a lot of taxes to the government, stuff like that. I've contributed to the community, you know, that kind of way. And people like that screaming at me to go home don't know me personally to say that. If they know me and they see my lifestyle, they would see that I am with them. I am part of the country, you know, that kind of way. So on that day, it was just sad to see that happening anyway to me. It was very, you know, sad that that happened. And in all fairness, I'm kind of pissed off too as well, because like it's affecting me as a creator, as an influencer, as a comedian, as someone who travels around Ireland and bring humor. I'm getting hate just because of what's happening in the country. So it's like yeah, go home too, you know. I don't know. It's crazy, yeah. So that's what I see anyway. I feel like it's not a fight between us. It's a fight with us and leadership. You know, the government are doing their best. You know, they're doing their best to make the country a better place. But obviously, there's always going to be some type of, you know, greediness, propaganda, some type of weird stuff going on that we can't see and I can't see, that I don't know about, you know, that's happening out there. So it's just really sad. But I want a very peaceful country. I want a country where we all get along and we all, like, you know, have to crack together regardless of what color you are, what religion you are. We all get along. But I just pray to God that the leader of the country lead us right and listen to the people, you know, and hear the people out. The people are crying for like, you know, for a better country, for a peaceful country, you know, whereby people can walk on the street, peace of mind, and not be afraid, not looking back all the time, you know. That's what the people are crying for. So it's why the flag is being raised for. But some people are using that as very, very violently, you know. You know, so like if you watch the video closely, the flag was on my bike, and one of the guys just finally take the flag off me, like, get the fuck out of here, you know, that kind of way, you know. So yeah, it's pretty sad to see.
Do you think that you've been made a scapegoat?
Yeah,
because there is a spectrum. We have the far left, and to them, all migrants are victims, and any criticism of the immigration system is inherently racist. On the far right, then we have, no, all migrants are scammers and are here for nefarious reasons, and there's no such thing as racism. To criticize that isn't racist. And then we sort of, from both sides, come into the more reasonable middle, where we say, well, there is clearly a problem with the system.
No.
And we need to be able to criticize that, but we don't want that to spill over into going after citizens that have been here for decades and have a different colour of skin. There's a whole other debate about who can be Irish and who can't, but I see there's a lot of fear too. So I see a lot of that fear on the more right-wing side being directed at you.
Yeah,
it doesn't make much sense, but you're the scapegoat.
It is because it's vivid, it's clear. It's not like we can't see. It's like I'm not gonna deny the fact that I'm not seeing it. They're writing it on my videos, on my comments, and, you know, telling me to go home, telling me this is not my country, telling me like I'm, you know. So it's not like I'm actually genuinely like, you know, it's not like I'm like, I feel like I'm an easy target for them because the fact I'm famous and I'm known, and everything that I've done in the past, they're using that as a good clickbait for the situation. You know, it's not like whatever I've said, I said it just right now. Like all the thing I've said was said like 7 to 8 years ago, and it's trending now because of what's going on now. You know, so it's kind of it's just using my past videos and jokes as their plan to call out racism, you know, that kind of way. But
as their plan to what?
Is to call out racism. Like, so basically, like, for example,
right.
Yeah. So like saying I'm racist towards Irish people, or I'm taking the piece out of the Irish culture because of the video I did with the homeless guy, or me talking about the white people going extinct. That's been said a long time ago. but it's just resurfacing now because of what is happening here today. So it's the only way I can actually genuinely, fight this situation is with love, because at the end of the day, you can't fight fire with fire. You have to show love to these people and kind of genuinely with a subtle mind, tell them that, look, this is not who I am. I am here to show the beauty of Ireland and the good part of Ireland. And at the end of the day, us legal migrants are with you. It's not like we're against you. We're with you. We understand what's happening, but you need to just learn how to say that. Don't take what's going on with what the government are doing, and don't take that on the legal migrants living in the country already.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's also a danger. This is why this territory is so fraught, because not all illegal immigrants are bad people either. And we have asylum seekers that are people pending refugee status, and obviously people are going to take advantage of that in Ireland because it's very easy to turn up. But then we do also have people who are genuine refugees, and they do enter illegally sometimes, and it's because of lots and lots of reasons. There's also, we start to drift in every way on this issue, because once we say, oh no, the illegal immigrants are, there's a danger of drifting into starting some sort of movement against innocent illegal immigrants. No, do you understand the point?
No, it's not. I get where you're coming from. It's not like there's no bad immigrants. It's not like we are obviously every immigrant, there's good immigrants and there's bad immigrants. But let me give you a scenario. If, let's say, for example, let's take my country now. Any country that has mass immigration problem, it's not a good thing. Any country, not
legal
just
or
Ireland,
illegal,
legal or illegal.
Okay.
Mass immigration is a thing. It's a thing. When there's a small island and you're bringing, doesn't matter if you're good or bad, but you're bringing so much people into the country, and you know that this country already has a problem, and they can't facilitate all these people. It's a problem already, regardless of Ireland, Africa, wherever, Poland, wherever country you're from. Mass immigration is a huge problem. So it's just the people are just standing and saying, look, listen, we have mass immigration problem right now, and we're trying to let you know that, look, we're not racist people. We're just saying that let's have some type of way to deal with the situation, where I'm, with my common understanding, I'm trying to say, okay, cool, I get where you're coming from. That's what you're saying, that type of way. But my problem here is, don't take this immigration problem on the legal immigrant that's already in the country. There's some legal immigrants living in the country that are doing well, like doctors and lawyers and influencers like me, who are actually genuinely contributing to the country. Don't take that hatred on us. That kind of way. Okay. Your hatred should be towards the people bringing them in. That type of way. So I have no problem against immigration. Honestly, I'm an immigrant myself, and I am just saying that, as an immigrant living in Ireland for over 24 years, I can feel the difference now with so much people coming in, that kind of way. It's right. Affecting people like me, never mind the real original Irish people. So,
do you feel Ireland has changed dramatically in the last 10 years?
Like fast.
Talk us through the change. What's different?
What's different is the fact that the homelessness has gone really high. Man, the prices of houses has gone so high. Literally, there's the crime already has gone really high. So much, nowadays, I go to the hospital for something, and I'll be there waiting for ages because of the population. That kind of way. So it's.
Do we know that that's the reason? Is population extension, or is it underfunded health services? Do we know, or are we guessing?
No. So personally, I wouldn't say I know that's the reason, but I can clearly see. I can clearly, genuinely see what's happening around. I see stories, I see videos around online with men abusing women, and and I'm not saying the local men don't abuse women, but I'm seeing this happening as well with So it's genuinely sad to see, and all I'm just saying is that there's a problem going on, and a voice needs to be raised, but some people are taking advantage of this and genuinely hating on on legal immigrant, which is sad to see,
And do you have confidence that the situation will improve in the future?
That's the thing I fear for, because it has been going on for years. Like I'm telling you, like 7 years ago, it has been going on. Like 7 years ago, I felt like, okay, this is a thing. And in my head, I'm like, maybe it might get better. But look at it now. It's getting worse. People are marching, hundreds of people are marching in town about this situation. Now, let's imagine, like last year, there was people burning Lewis, burning shops, stealing, runners from shops, looting around. That happened just last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember. But now, imagine fast forward, maybe in a few more years to come. I don't know what might happen then at that time, whereby, it's just, like at the end of the day, right? If you see, the way I see things, right? People will always raise their voice to the other side. You always, if you run after a goat, if you run after a goat, and if that goat reach the wall, he has no other choice than to turn around and fight back. That's life. So regardless of what's happening, when we're fighting certain people, one time they will want to fight back too. So they won't. There's so long. There's the time. If you keep saying, "Oh, go home," or keep fighting, these people want to fight back. And it can come to a stage whereby people are fighting now and argue with each other, and this is happening, this, and I pray to God, and I hope it doesn't get to that stage, that the government can open their eyes and see that, look, we want peace, we want peace to reign for our future kids, for the peace of the country, for the greatness of the country, that type of way. So, like, the only thing I personally can do now is by keep doing what I'm doing, spreading humor with witness and bringing smile to people's faces, because we're living in a very tough time right now with all this happening. And if I say it's not affecting me, I'm lying. It is. Like, as you can see, with all the hatred going on, if I saw what's happening to me right now, if 5 years ago, if someone would have told me this is going to happen, I probably wouldn't start. I probably would have been like, oh shit, I don't think I'm going to do it. But I didn't see this coming. And now it's here. I'm like, God damn. So this is what it takes to do what I do, Because people don't see me behind doors, alone, reading comments, getting hatred abuse, getting threats. People saying they're going to, when they see me on the street, they're going to do something to me.
Are you getting physical threats?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Are you getting a lot more than you used to?
Yeah, really. It's getting there. So,
are you taking precautions? Are you taking them seriously?
Look, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to, I'm seeing it as look, it is what it is. People will always get angry, and I just believe that I'm in a safe spot. I always believe God has my back. I'm always in a safe spot. All is going to be good. But at the end of the day, nobody sees all that feeling, the anxiety, the fear of all these things. But because of the love I have for the country, I just won't stop. I will keep being who I am, shining the true light, being authentic, being love. I'm a loving person. I'm not a violent, I'm a loving person. I'll keep being that loving person. I'll keep shining my true light to the people. And I'm only going to attract the loving people. And people that don't like me, I can't change them. It's who they are. And they will always be that way. And there's nothing I can do about that, So that's the principle I live by.
Okay.
So you're going to continue traveling, continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue traveling around the country. I'm gonna keep sharing my experience. Making people laugh, attending different tractor runs, different country festival, checking out cool pubs. Things that bring joy to my heart. I love it. Traveling to different sceneries in Ireland. Do you know how beautiful Ireland is when it's sunny? Like it's
a different country.
That kind of way.
It's a different country.
So it's what that brings me so much joy. And they speak English like, oh my God, it's I can go to other countries and see different places, and it's fun and it's great and stuff like that. But you want to speak to the people you can't understand. But when I'm in Ireland, I can actually communicate, and the Irish people are ready to have a chat with you, regardless of what it is. You ask them one question, and they will literally have a full blown chat with you. That kind of way. So
is there a big difference, because you have been doing your videos now in Scotland and in England,
I love Scotland.
I know you love Scotland. Northern England as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the sort of the big differences? That
I
you
don't.
really-
I think Scotland and Ireland. I don't know what to do, bro.
Who's better?
I don't know, man. The Scottish are just unreal. Like fucking hell. I don't know what it is. I don't know. The Scottish people are just like the Irish people. There's no difference in a way. I've been to England, and English people are a bit kind of calm. They're very like relaxed, and they don't. Black Paddy is offensive in England, that kind of way. Whereby in Scotland, they're like, yo, Black Paddy, get some whiskey, But I don't know, it's crazy. I love Scotland. I can't wait to go do part 2 in Scotland. Yeah.
But they knew of you, so you weren't. It wasn't completely sort of unknown virgin territory for you. They knew who you were.
They didn't know who I was.
Oh, they didn't.
I went there, did what I did, and I was on the papers the next day. Positively, like Black Paddy visited this place. This influencer Black Paddy came to our town and he did this, and all the feedback was positive. It was great, just like the way it started in Ireland. It was good. It was just amazing. So I can't wait to go back and do more visits around Scotland. It was very great and welcoming as well. Yeah. I love the Scottish though. I won't lie to you. They're very Irishy, but they don't know that.
Yeah. What's the best crack part of the north? Where's your favorite place in the north?
I would say Armagh, man. and I'm not saying this because of I'm here.
Yeah, we believe you.
But I've been to Katie, and goddamn,
Katie.
Could have stuck that in your mind.
Yeah, Katie is very like, oh my god, Katie is just unreal. I don't know what it is. Armagh has welcomed me with a very great open arm, and it's just, I remember doing a very great tractor run as well in Armagh. It was pretty cool as well. Man, I love Armagh, Derry, and Belfast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Belfast.
Have you been around the pubs in Armagh City?
Yeah, I don't know if I have. I can't remember. I think I have. I was drinking in the pub in Armagh one time. Yeah, I remember getting really buckled. Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember where it was, or?
It was in the town there. It was in the town.
McKenna's?
Is it? It was in the town. It was just right in the town side. There was a cheaper, not just next to it. I can't remember on the roadside. And it was after I did the McKinney's promotion, and I went straight there.
Oh
Yeah. So it was really good crack. But I would like to do a video trying some Guinness maybe today but I'm taking a break from that type of video right now. Actually, today I want to check out the cathedrals, and I want to ask people questions about. Who's the best? The Protestant. I love this. That's what I want to get into now.
Can't go wrong with that question.
Yeah. That's me now. I wanna have a different type of crack now. Yeah. So.
And you're off the drink?
Yeah, I'm off the drink now for 4 months, and I'm going really well.
You enjoying that?
I'm enjoying it. I've had so much help. To get off drink, drugs. So it's been good. Yeah.
Is that going to impact on your sort of what you rate that Guinness element of your videos though?
So I want to start trying like Guinness 0.0s and stuff like that. Like maybe
What's the Guinness 0.0 like in this bar?
Yeah, exactly. So I want to try. I want to try the Guinness 0.0, the Heineken 0.0. I want to try like non-alcoholic drink.
Direction.
Yeah, whole new direction. And just it's me telling people you can still have the crack as well without alcohol. You can still go into a pub and drink a non-alcoholic drink and still be yourself. So that's what I want to bring to the world as well. So I'm ready for this different me now. That's why I'm so grateful for everything I've been through, all the criticism I've been through. It shaped me to be who I am today. So yeah.
Me too. So.
Yeah, I mean, what sort of is the ingredient of a great sort of Black Paddy video? I mean, what makes you go after filming going, yeah, that was good. This is going to be a really good video.
Interaction. I think my best videos are all about interaction. If I go to a town, if I go to a town and I don't interact, that video don't really trend well. But interaction does a lot for me. Like people see me talking to people means a lot because we're living in a society whereby people don't want to talk. People see each other and just say, hey. People will say hello to you, but and for example, right? I can just where I live in Kildare. I will see someone walking down the street. I'll be like, hello, how you doing? And your man will reply, good, and you? And there's no reply after that. Like, he just asked me good, and you? And that's not after that. But when people see me saying, yo, what's the story? What's the crack? Good, and you? So come here. Listen, what's so special about Ma? Well, the road of it. Oh, Jesus Christ, the road of it. No, where can I try the good Guinness down here? Oh, then they'll not start talking about the bar, how good the bar is. You might have to saying the road out of it. Now it's telling me how good the bar is, how deadly it is, because I'm starting a conversation. It's not just the road and I'm walking up. No, I'm kind of asking him, and he's talking. I'm like, no, wait, that's really cool. That's deadly. So what are you doing here, though? What are you doing here? Oh, I'm only going shopping down here. Oh, what shop are you going to? This shop. And he tells me a joke about the shop, and that does really well. And people listen to that story. We just made a story there, me and that dude, or walking through, I see an elderly lady, and she told me a little bit of cool history about the place, So I think that when I get that interaction of people, that does really well in towns, yeah. Or people actually genuinely snubbing me, it does well. Someone just being bad to me or racist to me, or it does. It's I think interaction does a lot more for me, because everybody want to see authenticity. I don't stop. I'm like, sorry, excuse me, I'm going to ask you these questions now. Is it okay if you? Nah, I'm more real. I'm more like, so hello, how you doing? I just genuinely stop you. You can be in a good mood or a bad mood. I stop you straight away, and I'll start my conversation with you. Yeah, that's what I do.
And like, you have a map of all the places you've been to, and
no, I don't have a map. I don't have a map. Actually, that's funny. I have everywhere on my phone. I like, this is how it works. So this is the secret of the Black Paddy. This is my recipe. So if I visit Amar today and I'm talking to people, they'll be like, you should visit this town. I write that down. I go to that town. Somebody there will tell me to visit this town. The northern people love to do that to me. They're like, oh, you should visit this place. You should visit. Oh, check out the bar here. Have you been to this bar? Check that bar there. And that's what I do. I just go to recommendations and stuff like that. And that's how I move. I just move recommendations. So that's why I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. That's what makes my life more interesting, because I don't have a plan. I just have where someone said I should go tomorrow, and I go there and I check it out, and it's just, I'm like, thank you for telling me to come here. I'm like, wow. So yeah, that's how it. And sometimes I started from my town. I did Kildare, I did Dublin, I did all this, because I know the South really well. I did all the South, but when I came to the North, it was just like blind. It was just people recommending me to go to places. Like, someone actually asked me to go to Ardoyne. I never visited Ardoyne before. Someone said go Ardoyne, and I would never stop thanking that person. That was one of my greatest content ever, man. I went to the Shamrock Bar, and oh my God, unreal. So yeah, it's crazy, yeah. That's how my content goes anyway. I just people just tell me where to go, and I just go for it.
Any plans to do stand up or return to stand up?
Yeah. So I'm actually in the middle of doing stand up right now. Okay. So I'm doing acting as well, acting and stand up. So that's what's next for me now. So I will still be doing my travel vlogs, but while I'm at it, I'm gonna be doing acting and doing stand up comedy. So you probably will see me soon in the new Love Hate, maybe, or maybe Fair City somehow. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm actually working my way to the acting scene now. So because I have the confidence, I have the looks, I have the charisma. I just need to get that. I need to sharpen the idea of how can I be in a character now, and pick different character and play those characters. I want to learn that skills. Yeah, and DJing as well.
You can't just throw that in at the end. DJing.
Yeah, DJing. No, because I have so much plans. Like, genuinely, like, I'm very well known in the country. So, like, as someone who's very well known, my job is to entertain the country, and I'll do it in every way, either with music, with acting, with traveling. That's who I am. That's a gift that God has given to me to entertain. So I will just do. I'm like a handyman when it comes to entertainment. I can do everything. So that's what I want to start doing. The stand-up is my main aim, because I did a stand-up gig yesterday and it went so good.
Where was that?
In the International Bar in Grafton Street in Dublin.
Okay.
And there were Americans, there were Irish people there, and I got a clapping of you. It was unreal. I'm loving my style of stand-up comedy, because I get to tell my story now, with everything that's going on in my life. Like what I said to you guys today in the podcast, but in a funnier way. I tell people story. I'm on stage, I'm on the mic, and I'm like telling my story. It's interesting, yeah.
You mentioned your dad. You mentioned earlier that he passed away when you were quite young. You also mentioned that he also had addictions or problems with substances. Do you mind talking about that a bit?
Yeah, so my dad passed away at a very young age, and I didn't get to have the opportunity to be very close to him. but he did his best anyway to be a great father. And but like he was very addictive when it comes to alcohol, and and you can tell because he took the anger on us as kids and stuff like that. It wasn't as close, so like that affected me in so many ways. And that's the reason why and it's just the fear of my mom as well. She didn't want me to end up that type of way as well. She didn't want me to end up being an alcoholic.
Would you have described your father as an alcoholic?
Yeah, well, I would say that, to be honest with you, because he was doing it. He did it so bad that, like, even when my mom was trying to stop him, he had to, like, get another house to live in so he can actually drink in peace.
Right.
But he tried. He tried his best. It was very, very religious, true. He tried his best, but that's why I'm actually, like, genuinely trying to save myself so I don't end up like that. Just to be a role model for my kid and to be there for him as well. But like I said, I've rallied myself out of it as well when it comes to drinking and drugs. I've done my part, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because it's an experience of life that I've lived, and I'm so glad and I'm happy that I'm saved from that. It's because it can be very hard to get out of when you're in it. It's can be very, very hard to get out of, and I'm really grateful that I'm out of it, and I want to use my way and my experience to help other people as well, with humor and talking to people and doing podcasts like this, just to let people know how they can, by loving yourself and getting closer to God. Trust me, that's my personal way of getting out of addiction. You need to just love yourself, get close to God, and find a reason. Maybe it's your health, your family, whatever it is. Do you wanna be there for you? Don't want to break your mom's heart. You want to be there and and live longer, or just find a great reason why you want to give up whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I learned from my dad being alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a question about the African community in Ireland, the Black community, Nigerian community, which is quite large within the wider community. How much of a part of that do you feel yourself? I mean, do you socialize with? Do you feel a part of it? Because you mentioned earlier that you get it in the neck from both sides, from Irish people who say you're mocking them for being Irish or Irishness, and then from within the Black community for mocking, or maybe performing a sort of stereotype. So is that a sort of would that be a typical view from people that within the Black community, or is that also a sort of a fringe minority critique of what you do?
Yeah. So I used to be part of the Black community at the beginning, but now I feel like they're just like, look, we don't care what happens to you at the end of the day, because like I used to be very well known in the Black community, but the day I made up my mind to say that, look, it's not just being a Black community, it's all about being where I'm living right now, Ireland as a whole. I needed to branch out to explore where I'm calling my new home, to see what the story is, which was very different for some of them to do. I was like, I want to do this, and I was the first person to do all this. I was the first guy in Ireland to actually genuinely explore and say, look, I want to do this, which was very different. And when you're different, like I said, you get fingers pointed at you and stuff like that. But I kind of lost them, and it's just recently they're getting to see that, oh my God, he actually meant well. He's not like a bad person. He was trying to just bring people together. He's not trying to put us down in any way. They get to see that, okay, this guy genuinely is doing is being a great brand ambassador for not just being a Black person, but for the country as well. So yeah, so it's gonna be tough, but I'm proud of myself looking back, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I did what I did. Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have you up here in Armagh, Fabu, and I hope to keep in touch. We've learned so much. It's been really intriguing. A couple of hours that we spent with you, and all the best in your future endeavours. And plenty of begrudgers out there, so hopefully you can ignore the flack and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much for actually having me. I'm really grateful. And look, I hope whoever is watching this, and I wish everyone well, and to always remember to stay positive, and remember that in this life, staying in the middle can be a bit tough, but remember the reason, the intention, and why you're doing it. It's all about love and, spreading positivity to the world. So I'm really grateful for having me here. And until next time, Amma.